I seriously doubt you can see that on the camera, but I mean a nanometer away. Okay, I did all this talking about nut placement and kind of took for granted now, before, alright, there's not a problem. I know I've done this so many times with a Gibson scale that I know this is going to work out. It's even if there could possibly be a little deviation at the nut end, but it's going to be very minimal. Before we can really truly know where the nut line is, we have to do our access port for the truss rod, so that when the truss rod is actually in place, we can make sure that lines up perfectly, dead center between 23 and 24, and is centered on the spoke nut. That will be our actual fretboard placement, and that'll tell us where our nut line is, but I'm next to positive it's going to be just about exactly where we wanted it. Doesn't look like it at the moment because we need to lop off this end, but and I'm thinking we need to do that pretty quickly. I didn't go very deep with that thing, and I don't really trust my squareness with a handsaw anyway. I'm terrified of the idea, but I think we're going to go to the table saw and we're going to try to just barely take that, and if we leave just a little bit, we can try to clean that up with, I don't know, something. To be honest with you, we'll probably sand it instead of, try to use a shooting board and a plane. I don't see that working out too well for me. But we're going to try to get it so that the saw blade just takes exactly how much we need. It's very important that we don't screw this up because that is the nut line. Damn it, I think that's good. Man, it left the tiniest little shelf. Yeah, it's going to wind up being about right there, which is just about perfect. Now, I seriously doubt you can see that on the camera, but I mean a nanometer away, which I suppose is a good thing. I was terrified to take just a little too much. It's a terrifying prospect. It seems a little stupid, but seems like as long as I can be square and just kiss it, we can ease up to okay. The only way I could tell that we weren't quite there is there was a little bitty line. You can't feel any difference. And now, I mean, right before we just did that last little kiss to it, I could still see the tiniest, faintest little bit of a line, like a little bit there. I think we just made it up to the line. I'm happy. I'm convinced we're good. And I'm not just saying that. Okay, every time we do this, I need to pick a drill bit and start from scratch. I Never really planned out a bit for that. Pretty sure quarters. No, quarters not quite too big. We might ought to go smaller than a quarter, and then ease up. Okay, I think maybe we'll do this, which is 7/32. However, all right, before we can do any of that, we need center lines. We'll need to draw this little thing out, all that kind of stuff. Alright, a couple things we need to do to the fretboard to get it ready to roll. I'm putting that off for the moment because we also need to finalize our back plane and then do our initial facet, which will still leave a little bit of meat at the platform end, and it will leave us a central part to clamp to. But some time ago, I noticed regularly I was building in a little bit of a back bow. I mean, like, it was, I don't remember how many guitars, but a few. And I started trying to figure out what it was that was doing it. And it turned out to be a combination of a lot of things. But in the pursuit of trying to figure that out, one of the things I did was just try to make sure that the neck wasn't moving. And in most cases, I don't think it was that. It was, you know, a combination of how you clamp the fretboard on when you're gluing it on that adds or, you know, pulls a little tension in. I can't remember all the things that played a part. But our process evolved because of that. And one of the things I started trying to do just to make sure, you know, it wasn't part of the equation, I tried to get as close to a carve as possible before the fretboard goes on, just so you get it to close to shape, give it some time to sit, make sure that it is actually, you know, stable and straight before the fretboard goes on. But of course, we first need to start with a good straight back. This usually goes quite a bit faster too, but this wing gate is wing gate. So. shaped volute a bit. So, first phase in carving a neck. It's too soon to do all of it. Thanks for joining me. If you like what we're doing, if you're digging it, like and subscribe. Catch you next time. Like, subscribe, watch.